Okey-doke. We should be live.
I just got the notification, so yeah.
Good. At least
right.
I know notifications are working.
Yep. I just popped out the chat on my end so I can actually see the YouTube chat while we're talking.
Yep.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello, folks.
And if you get why I just said good evening like that, you should probably enjoy the stream.
Yes,
It was a Dracula reference.
It's finally time. It's the long-awaited Castlevania stream. Let's hope that Underworld Dream, the one who's been, requesting this stream, will show up.
It just turned out that he comes up the next stream we do, and it's like, why haven't you done the Castlevania stream? And it's like, no, Underworld, we already did it. Go back. Go. You're drunk.
Transylvania? No, we're not going to talk Hotel Transylvania. Sorry. Although they're funny and charming, but no, that's not what we're here for.
That Dracula would get curb stomped into oblivion by this Dracula, and I would be amazed by it.
Would.
Castlevania, what's that? Trip, I'm assuming you're trolling me at this point.
I mean, he better know what Castlevania is. I talked to him about it enough times.
Hey,
don't make us have to summon the Night Horde. I'll do it. Don't test me.
Well, it's good. We got Maverick is here in chat. Hello. Tellium is also here. Good to see you guys. And Turtle Time talking about the Rapture coming. Okay. Worse than the CP Rapture. Worse than the Equal Rapture. The Turtle Rapture. Okay. He was saying that when I did the stream last night, I did a short stream talking about plans for 2019, and he was not there, surprisingly enough. So he's like, I missed one. No.
Oh, fair enough. Also, I see Trip saying, do you mean Strahd the video game? It may need a little bit more explanation then. I thought I did well enough. Apparently not. Also, sorry you see me going like this a lot. My throat is still fairly swollen. So
okay. Well, you don't have to yell or anything. Just keep it chill and make sure there's tea nearby.
Fair enough. So I got my neon green drink here.
Good. I will message constantly. I'm sure you will. Not all caps all the time, though. Stop screaming at me through chat.
But yes, Wolf, what is your experience with Castlevania? Just overall.
Let's see. Well, I remember I've played a little bit of, I think it was one of the DS or 3DS games. A little bit. Oh, it was a demo for a 3DS game. I've known about the series for a long time, but I never got a chance really to play it. I missed out on a lot of games that I didn't get to play initially like other people did. So Castlevania was one of those series that I never got into. Not that I dislike it or anything. I think it's cool. I just haven't gotten a chance to play a lot of the games or anything of that nature.
Fair enough. I mean, they are definitely hard to get a hold of nowadays.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Rabbit shouldn't yell. It might give them a heart attack.
Yeah, I see what you did there, Trip. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, actual rabbits, if you're too loud and the rabbit isn't expecting it, it will give it a heart attack.
Oh no!
Yeah,
it tried to stop me. Screw you too. It tried to stop you from what? Writing in all caps.
It considers all caps spam.
Is that what it does?
Yep, that's how the chat algorithms go for both YouTube and Twitch.
Ah, well, Turtle Time, stop typing in all caps, my friend. Then maybe it won't stop you. Maybe we'll see.
Perhaps, Turtle Time, you should welcome our caps denying overlords.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so Wolf, that's your experience with Castlevania so far, just the show and wanting to get into the games?
Light knowledge on the games. I haven't really played any of them, but I think that there is some fun to be had with them. I just haven't gotten to it yet. There's a lot of games on the itinerary, and Castlevania is not a top priority. Also, it's
Fair enough.
I mean, I mentioned this last stream because people ask like, what kind of things you like to read when it comes to manga, or like what genres you prefer. I'm more into science fiction than I am with things like horror or fantasy, or even like gothic dark stuff like Castlevania and whatnot. I don't hate them, but I'm also just not as big a fan of them as I am with sci-fi.
Fair enough. So what I'm hearing from this is that the game you should probably start out with is Aria of Sorrow.
Which one is that one?
It's on the Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, believe it or not, that one's actually set in the year 2035.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, you might like it given your tastes, Wolf. It's not one that I particularly care for, but our tastes diverge significantly, so maybe you'll like it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Dalton, that reminds me. Sorry, I've suddenly taken over because it's Castlevania. That's some of my bread and butter right there. But I was just wondering, what experience does Dalton have with the Castlevania franchise here?
I've played most of the games, or at least tried to play most of the games. I'm more interested in the lore. That's why when the anime came out, I was like, shit, this is going to be my shit. And it was, because fuck, this anime is awesome.
Agreed. It is really awesome.
And as an adaptation of Dracula's Curse and a little bit of Symphony of the Night, it works really fucking well.
Yeah.
By science fiction, do you also mean you like mecha? I thought that was obvious.
I'm fairly certain mecha is part of science fiction, is it not?
Obvious association is obvious.
Maverick, what do you mean? It's like, I thought that was a given. Considering how much I talk about Gundam and whatnot, I thought that was obvious.
You know what? This makes sense. Maverick's probably messing with you, trying to get you to go Maverick because he's a Maverick. Come on, you got to beware of those guys. We got to get X and Zero in here.
Shouldn't you be sitting in front of Goose then, Maverick?
I think I'm not sure, but I think we have 2 turtle times at the same time. It's twice the chaos.
Oh, apparently Trip hasn't seen season 2 yet, so I should probably warn that talking about this, I will not be able to avoid spoilers.
Yeah, herein there will be spoilers, and go and watch season 2 because season 2 is awesome as well.
I did put it in the bottom of the description that there will possibly be spoilers. So.
Possibly my ass, guaranteed.
Yeah, that possibly needs to be
upgraded
to a near certainty.
What did I say? Oh yeah, there will be spoilers. I didn't say there might be. I said no, there will most definitely be spoilers. No, Wolf doesn't like mecha. What would give you that idea? I don't know.
But yeah, I guess I should probably explain how much history I have with Castlevania now, since everyone else has told their history with it.
By all means.
My history is that I have actually beaten every single Castlevania game out there, including Simon's Quest on NES. I hate that's impressive. But yeah, I do enjoy the 3 different timelines that are there. Each is their own separate ride because I can, separate them in my mind. I think, all right, just because, this one over here with Sonia Belmont is a different ride. It doesn't mean that it affects the main story or anything, so I can deal with it. And the ones with Gabriel Belmont, again, it's a separate ride. It's supposed to be a completely different take. So I just think, all right, it doesn't affect my main story that I've been waiting, so I can enjoy them all. I just wish we'd get that damn Julius Belmont game already.
See, I am slightly harsher on a lot of the alternate timelines than you are. I detest with a passion Lords of Shadow. I cannot. Why and how and just in general. But I love the main sort of timeline.
Yeah, the main timeline is great.
Rabbit, have you been playing the pachinko machines too?
Believe it or not, I actually downloaded ROMs of those and beat them. Yes.
Oh my god. It's freaking me out. Why face cam?
What
That's
face
because
cam?
Rabbit wants to terrify you. It's either that or it's because he's Norman Bates. That's why.
Hey, I grew the stubble for a reason.
It's supposed to hide the identity of Norman Bates.
Is that his confirmation that he has mommy issues?
I'm not gonna make that. I'm not gonna go
I'm
there.
not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
It's a great version from the can phone. What? Why do you keep saying can? I'm confused. People are having fun though. That's the good part. Anyway.
But yes, so the Castlevania Netflix season. What'd you think of it, Wolf?
It was good. I like that there were more episodes this time around because I can't even remember how many episodes was in season 1.
There was only 4 in season 1 and a total of 8 in season 2.
Yeah. Okay. I was forgetting the numbers, but I like that there was more to go on. There was a lot more time to develop side characters, talk about what's going on. And the main thing I noticed is there was a lot of focus on Dracula himself and his, minions or the group of people who are working for him and whatnot. You got to spend a lot more time with those individuals and get their side of the story a bit more than following Alucard, Belmont, and the Seeker. Is that what she's called?
Cypher is, yes.
Whatever.
Yeah, they were called speakers for.
Sorry, speakers, not speakers. Sorry.
Yeah, they're basically they're in-universe versions of Romani, essentially.
Pretty much.
But yeah, for the most part, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good continuation of where they left off. Gave us a lot more time to get to know some of the characters. Spent less time with the Belmont stuff and more time with Dracula because at least it was a way to make the character more sympathetic.
I don't know if it needed to make him more sympathetic. I'm still on Team Dracula did nothing wrong here.
Well, I do agree Dracula did nothing wrong at the start, but as soon as he unleashed mass genocide amongst the people, then he may have stepped over that line just a little bit, just a wee little bit.
Yeah, but they were like fundamentalist Christians in the Middle Ages. I would be hard pressed to not be unleashing the Night Horde myself. And I don't think I would need the tragic love lost backstory. Like, nope, not worth it.
But yeah, actually, it's sort of funny that you mentioned how. It's funny that you mentioned, Wolf, how the second season actually didn't focus on Trevor and them all as much. Mm-hmm. Luckily, it focused on them enough to get us an idea of what they were doing and some good character development for the 3.
Yeah,
but you're right; it did focus on the others a little bit more, and that honestly was due to the fact that with Hector and Isaac being introduced, season 3 is going to be full on about the game Castlevania Dracula's Curse, not Dracula, Castlevania. Was it Curse of Shadows? I think something like that. One of the PS2 games.
I think so. I think that's the one you're thinking of. The one that focuses like primarily on the Forge Masters and stuff.
Yes, it focuses on Hector being the main hero and Isaac being the main villain. Which I do believe that's where this is going to go.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that by the end of season 3, Camilla will be bound to a mask and be a quote-unquote ghost, and that's how we'll get her back in her original form from
Possibly.
the game, would be my guess. I was hoping for at least one more season of them trying to stop Dracula. It seemed kind of anticlimactic. And I know it was because he wasn't feeding, and so eventually when they bring him back, it's going to be even more powerful because he'll actually have a reason to feed and whatnot. But it was very anticlimactic. And I also wish that we had seen more diverse magic used by Sypha, because she really only used one Enochian spell and a couple elemental things. So it was like, I could have done with more magic. But then again, that's my go-to response for everything. I could have done more magic from this.
But yeah, and also spoilers for those of you who don't know. Yes, Dracula will come back. He always does.
Yeah,
But
that's why the
It's
Forge
an
Masters were left
inevitability.
alive.
It's an inevitability. He will return.
Yes.
Because that's what they do in every Castlevania game, practically. He comes back.
Also, in a large preponderance of Dracula-based media in general, Dracula is one of the most unkillable vampires in literary history.
Well, yeah, considering that there seems to be a lot more gimmicks and tricks to try and kill the guy.
He ain't just with Nixie there.
Because it's like, oh, a steak isn't going to kill him. You're going to have to try hard. You're going to have to sever his head.
Yeah, I like how he was able to just take a full blast from the Morningstar Whip and was like, I'm not going to die by your human magics. Sorry.
Yeah, though they did mess up on one thing. They hit him. Trevor hit him in the chest. You're supposed to hit him in the head. I thought he'd know that by now.
Well, yeah, but in fairness, most of the stuff in the library he can't read, and he probably just knows the Morningstar Whip is a badass thing.
Fair enough.
So
yeah, and we don't know how long he was technically trained by his family either.
My guess would be
he didn't know that the Enochian seal was magic, so probably not very often.
Yeah,
would be my guess.
My guess is that he probably started getting trained at around 5 years old, because that's normally the time that most parents even today start taking their kids to karate classes and stuff like that. So back in those days, I'm pretty sure that's whenever they train people to fight monsters.
Because you were supposed to be of like adulting age by like 13 in the Middle Ages. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so my guess is that he had at least 6 years of training.
Yeah, but it was never completed.
Yeah,
because it's obvious it was never completed.
Yeah, it seems like from what I saw that they got him just up to the point that they would have introduced him to this is the Enochian door and this is our family trove and this is all the knowledge that we have in it threshold. He would have gotten initiated, as it were, but then the pitchfork wielding rabble with the angry mobs and the rabbling came along and did the thing that medieval peasants do and bullocks, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
It
was interesting to see these Forge Masters. I had no idea who these characters were or what they were supposed to do initially, but after seeing it all the way to the end, it's like, okay, I think I get it. At least to some extent.
I'm of two minds on the inclusion of the Forge Masters, because in season 1, it really seemed like Dracula was going to do the majority of the summoning himself, and that's why it was taking him 1 year.
Yeah.
Whereas it seemed season 2 made it seem more like it just took him 1 year to find Hector and Isaac and have them do their thing, and it was a little anticlimactic because I always liked the thought of Dracula doing shit himself.
Yeah.
So it's
in season 1 they never really showed very much of him with like his generals or any other form of allies, just the hordes of evil that he seemed to be summoning on his own. And then all of a sudden these characters come literally out of left field, and I did get a bit of whiplash from that. I'm like, wait, these were not introduced in season 1. Where'd they come from?
So like I'm very happy that the Forge Masters were included. I just wish they were a little bit less central to everything.
Yeah. But we have to build for season 3, though.
This is true, and both Hector and Isaac were extremely relatable, in my opinion. So it's not as though they did a bad job.
Yeah, and one thing I actually do appreciate is they did change Isaac's design from the game to the show, because in the game, he is a pasty-ass white boy with red hair, tattoos going down his face, and a crazed look in his eye.
Right.
Despite being from Middle East, Africa regions. This one, they made him look like he's from the Middle East or Africa regions, but still keep his drive intact.
Yeah, I also like that they didn't social justice it too much, because they could have easily gone the black exploitation stroke oppression thing and it would have ruined things, but really they just kind of went, No, life sucked for everyone in the Middle Ages. What of it?
Yeah.
Pretty
And
much. We're all suffering here.
yeah, they're not wrong. The Middle
Life
Ages
sucks.
were rough.
Yeah,
Life just sucks.
it was much more historically accurate, at least as far as these kind of things can be, sort of take on things, and I appreciated them not jamming social justice in where it was not welcome or belonged. So
Well, they didn't. No one even made a big stink about anything that the show was even doing. You know, none of the cast, none of the or none of the media that covered it, as far as I know. No one, kicked up a hornet's nest. But like when you compare it to something like what's going on with The Witcher or with other shows, it's like, oh yeah, no, we gotta plaster that shit out. We gotta
yeah,
make it public. And
it's hilarious that like a good 30 or 40% of the entire cast of Castlevania are like rank misanthropes, and nobody gives so much as a peep, but everything else under the sun gets scrutinized by, oh, you're
maybe,
being oppressive. Like,
yeah.
guys, like, this is a show about misanthropy. What are you talking about?
Not to mention, it's a show about vampires, monsters, and slaying said vampires and monsters. If you're looking for something to be a giant message, it's a thing of don't commit genocide. There you go.
Yeah.
People will come for you if you do
Although
it.
they weren't quite as effective at that because they once again made it seem as though hashtag Dracula did nothing wrong.
Well, again, I agree and disagree. I do agree that at the beginning with his original reasons for getting pissed off, yeah, he didn't do anything wrong on getting angry, but the way he handled it, nah, he definitely crossed the line.
Well, see, I can see kind of where he was coming from because I am kind of misanthropic from time to time. Like I don't like humanity at large, so I can totally understand where he's coming from with the people I love are literally the only reason I have to tolerate human life, and if you ruin this, fuck all y'all. Basically, like
kind of makes sense. To me, it's twisted, but if that's how Dracula behaves, I can't. I fault him for trying to murder humanity, but at the same time, it's like,
yeah. If I
well,
was alive
his
in this universe at this time, I probably would have become a forge master and just signed up along with Hector and Isaac. It probably would have gone terribly, but I probably would have done it.
we have a human hater. What? Turtle Time, what are you talking about? I have no idea what you're doing. Call the brimstone.
He's making fun of me for being a rank misanthrope and saying hashtag Dracula did nothing wrong, but I stand by my words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Humanity is terrible and doesn't understand things, and that which they don't understand, they tend to kill.
Yeah.
I have to say it. What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. Enough talk. Have at you.
Well done.
Thank you. I need my drink.
Although there was one moment that genuinely had me scratching my head, which was when they brought the bishop back through the forge mastery. How the fuck in any dimension was he still able to bless the river? Because like the ability of blessing should be tied to the essence of the person, and that essence just got replaced with Hector's forge mastering magic. So like
that I can actually explain. All right, pretty much the way they were going with it on the magic factor was sort of the more slightly new school, but at the same time slightly old school, where the magic comes from the words instead. And in that case, they had it to where the priest was pretty much, it was brought back by necromancy, let's face it.
Yeah.
So the brain being
forge
still
mastery is extremely powerful necromancy, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah, so the brain still being intact meant that it still had all the memory of all the words was still in there.
Oh,
so
okay.
they just had it.
So it was just a very powerful blessing. So they were able to. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But it still confused the fuck out of me when I first watched it. I'm like, okay, so what and why and how is he still able to? Okay.
Well, I think the way that Rabbit explained it, it would make a lot more sense because you have the speakers and whatnot, and a lot of the languages that you saw in like the Belmont estate can't be read by, well, for one, Trevor. And Alucard has some understanding of it, but it's clear that she can read them a lot better than the other two can.
It's the
So-
evil dwarf
Yeah,
death,
and
Belmont.
can we all just acknowledge that Sypha is my new waifu? Because, like, damn.
Why the hell not?
You may have to fight Trevor over that one.
Yeah, and? Belmont, don't scare me.
So if
Belmont might not, but a giant metal Morningstar whip and a throwing axe should.
Yeah, but the Morningstar Whip is called the Morningstar Whip because it draws its power from Mercury. Mercury. If you cut its connection to Mercury off, it's just a regular whip.
Made of metal.
Yeah.
That's my point.
So if magic is tied to words, knowing shorter versions of words would make a spell stronger. Yes. I think that's how they explained it.
Well, I think shorter versions of words. I think it was that the shorter versions of words still had an effect, but the full words made it stronger.
The reason, magically speaking, why words have power is because of the notion that ideas exist in a higher plane of existence, and by sort of attaching yourself to the words, you're attaching yourself to the energy of the ideas that the words correlate to.
Yep.
It's sort of Platonic geometry made flesh, more or less. And then it got quiet.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so I was finishing off my drink I was taking, but yeah, that definitely is how magic works in a lot of old textbooks, even to this day. But
yeah, I've read old grimoires that there are still large swathes of magical systems that operate onto those auspices.
Yeah,
it's one of the reasons why it's taken me so fucking long to make my videos on Castlevania Season 2, because I wanted to actually provide a substantive explanation of how Dracula's Platonic difference engine that he uses to move the castle around works. And it's very hard to put very high academic concepts into layman's terms, and I don't want to just babble academically over nothing. So
Dalton not wanting to babble academically? I'm shocked.
Well, when I make my videos, I do my best to explain it in terms that people who aren't 10-year or 12-year veterans of the occult can get, because other occultists could probably watch my video just fine and go, yeah, that makes perfect sense. But people who aren't well-versed in magic, less so. And I don't want that. So,
Did Turtle Time, you're asking, did I do this thing right? Yes. Because I can see it in chat. I can see my name. Congratulations! You figured out how to use the @ button. Congrats. Go clap for you, sir.
All right. But yeah, whenever it comes to knowing stuff about this, I won't lie. When I was younger, I did do research on grimoires and stuff, and even to this day, I still like to do research on it. Though I am more of a scientific guy myself, it's still fun to know knowledge about both.
Mm-hmm. And I am sort of the opposite side of that particular coin. I do my best to know as much as I can about many things, but one of my areas of specialization is the occult.
Fair enough. And it is fun, especially the cryptozoology part.
Yeah.
My
so
brother.
that is a topic for another day, and one that I will gladly discuss with you, but probably not one to discuss right now.
Nightwolf, vampire hugger.
I was about to say, so Wolf, you're a vampire hugger now? How does that go? Do you kill them by wrapping your arms around, just give them a giant big bear hug or something like that? How does it work?
Yes, that's how I kill vampires, guys. If you didn't know, I can hug them to death. Although they're already dead.
So wait, if Nightwolf is the vampire hunter and I'm the mage, that must make Rabbit the Don Pierre.
I am a pasty ass white boy.
I'm best at animal facts myself. Okay, that's cool, Trip. Yeah, I probably know a little bit more about creatures that are fictional than I do about the Grimoire stuff and whatnot. I mean, I know decent amounts of things like some of the mythologies and whatnot. I have learned a thing or two. Mainly with things that are Hmm. Well, let's see. What are the myths and whatnot that I've at least have more cursory knowledge of? That would be things like Camelot or the Arthur legend, and even that's kind of bye. My brother's going to work.
Oh, okay.
My games up in your room.
That's fine. You can leave the games in the room. It's fine.
I hear games room. I'll gladly take a few.
He went to out of town and he went to a couple used game stores and bought a bunch of games.
Nice.
What was I saying?
You're talking about how you're more to the cryptozoology side, studying about creatures from folklore and such.
I don't really study them, but I know more about, like, let's say, dragons and other assorted creatures than I do, whatever.
You're more the type to write a bestiary as opposed to just an encyclopedia on lore in general.
Yeah, I'd probably just focus on just the story itself. I think that's what you asked. I zoned out for a sec.
He mentioned you'd be the one to write a bestiary, which is pretty much just writing down what a monster is,
right?
What looks like its weak point, aim for the shiny glowing spot to deal massive damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But more about, I would, if you were to task me with a job, I would probably be the guy who writes all the creatures down. But I mean, I do know stuff about like Greek mythology, and I know some about, a little bit of like Nordic mythology. Well, very little, but I know some of it. So like when I see some of that stuff in other forms of media, and when I'm like, oh, I know that.
You can recognize it, but you're not really up to talk at length about it.
Probably not as much as others are who've studied it for like decades. I mean, let's see. When it comes to like stories that I've actually had a chance to read, like because it was part of assignments and whatnot, I've read Beowulf, and to be fair, it was the abbreviated version of Beowulf. It was not the full one. Basically, it was the Cliff Note version of Beowulf.
At least it wasn't the movie.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. Every Beowulf movie I've seen has been trash. There's like 2 of them, and both of them are terrible.
It would be particularly hard to do in a post-Lord of the Rings world. If you tried to make it like a decade before Lord of the Rings came out, I would have sympathy for you. But like in a post-Lord of the Rings world, Beowulf should be a cakewalk.
Yeah. Though I will give props to the motion captured one. Those graphics were stunning. That's all I will give it props for.
Yeah.
The only thing.
The only credit it gets. Yep. And then there was another one. It was like a version of the story of Beowulf, but it was like a more realistic version of Beowulf. Like these events happened, but it wasn't with any form of mythical creatures and monsters and whatnot. They were actually just really
air quotes realism. Yeah.
Well, yeah. They took the story. It's kind of like what some historians do, where they're like, well, maybe there's some, because
there's some
myths
basis for
and
this,
legends.
But we're not going to actually allow for any of the important bits of it to happen.
Well, what I was saying was the whole thing with like myths and legends. Sometimes they think there might be some form of truth behind it, so they try and find what inspired the people to write the myths in the first place. They do it with King Arthur. They do it with Greek mythology. They're like, was there really a maze? Let's go see if we can find a maze.
I always laugh at people who tried to do that, because it's like, okay, you're halfway there. Now let's see if you can get the other half. Oh, you're going to cognitive distance yourself out of acknowledging the other half of things? Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it was called. I think it was called The Seven Warriors or something to that nature. Antonio Banderas was in the movie. That much I do remember.
So Zorro.
No. Well, yeah, the guy who played Zorro, but he was like the main character and Beowulf was the side character. It was given from his perspective because he was a foreigner. But it is basically a beat for beat story of Beowulf, just with all of the mysticism or the mythological elements ripped right out of it.
So what you're saying
So
is
Beowulf with
they
all
screwed
the
the
punch.
pooch.
That sounds
yeah,
depressing.
pretty much no dragon, no Grendel. They had, things as replacements for those, like Grendel's mother, what I think did exist, but it was just some sort of weird, creepy old lady in a cave, if I remember correctly.
You know what? As long as it's not Angelina Jolie, that's fine with me.
Yeah, we're all still living with the post CGI Beowulf PTSD.
Sorry. Oh yeah, thank you, Trip. You remind me, the 13th Warrior. That's what it was called. Thank you.
Ah, I see, said the blind man.
Yeah. It was an interesting movie, but yeah, at the same time, it's like, this is not Beowulf. Brainstorm of Pop Culture is here. Hi, man. How you doing? I've heard some say that Castlevania attacked and vilified religion, Christianity mainly. I personally think it's just talk about absolute power corrupts absolutely. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I think if anything, they were attacking the hyper religious ignorance of the Middle Ages more than they were Christianity itself.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
not the modern. It wasn't the modern interpretation.
Because they make it very clear that like spirituality and mystical forces do exist. It's just that the way I've always it's funny because it actually sort of sums up kind of my feelings on it, which is that religion is about narratives, whereas magic is about techniques. So that's kind of the same distinction they make. Religion is more good. Religion is, in my opinion, like spiritual journalism. Good magic is like spiritual engineering.
Yes, fair.
Apparently, Turtle Time wanted me to ask. Still waiting for Turkmageddon. You liking this rapture? I have no idea what your rapture even is about, my friend.
Turkmageddon's gonna be tasty.
Delicious turkey.
Oh yes.
It's probably the Taoist version of Armageddon, given the preponderance of turtles in it.
Happy New Year's, Jay.
Happy New Year's, virgins. Thank you.
Hey.
Tell you, the Inquisition basically attacked their own people, ostracized them to be something they didn't confess to be. The Inquisition. Yeah, the Inquisition. What a show.
see, now this tells where our humors differ, because I was gonna go, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition, but you went ahead and went on History of the World Part 1 with it. So.
It's my favorite. It's like whenever someone brings up the Inquisition, that's my go-to joke. Because it's the only thing I could think of.
And my usual is, nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Hey, Monty Python is good. Same with Mel Brooks. I love them both. But that's not what we're here for today, is it? We are here to talk about Blood-Sucking Beast of the Night.
Yeah.
Turtles live longer. Rabbits never die, but turtles live longer.
Turtles may live longer, but rabbits never die because we constantly respawn.
Yeah, and which species is liable to become extinct faster?
Turtle.
Considering there are several species of turtles that are on the endangered.
True, but turtles have been around longer. I mean, there's certain like paleontology that suggests some variation on turtles have been around as long as sharks and alligators have been, and they basically are dinosaurs miniaturized.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, but yeah. Also, I saw Tripmon say so politics. I'm guessing he's talking about the Christian stuff that was or the Catholic stuff that was involved in the Castlevania series, and a little bit, but it wasn't really politics. It was just more of a commentary on stuff that everyone already knows about the Middle Ages.
Yeah, anybody who's done any knowledge of the Middle Ages or the dark times when the church pretty much controlled everything and got to decide and determine what's good and bad.
Any commentary that occurred against Christianity occurred basically against all religions, which is knowledge is good, narratives are bad, basically, is all boiled down to.
And apparently I misunderstood that whenever he says so politics, he was making a joke about me saying we were talking about blood-sucking creatures. He's not wrong.
Okay. So he wasn't asking for a clarification on how politics played into the Castlevania.
Sorry, that's my fault for misreading. But he has a point, yes. So politicians.
Yep. Every last one of them. But
let's move on from that
The question is, does that make God brand Donald Trump?
Make vampires great again.
Godbrand, I'm going to be honest with you. Godbrand was one of my favorite characters for season 2 just because of how off the walls he was.
I know.
He was hilarious.
my favorite line was when he brought in the like deceased night creature for Isaac to revive and was just like, now do your filthy human magic with it. I rolled on the floor. It was like, that's the best line ever. Now do your filthy human magic with it.
You've never made anything that you either killed, fucked, or made a boat out of.
We're supposed to make both of the things.
I would make a joke about bats, but it would be draining on me. Thank you, Turtle Time. Who would win, Dracula or Mothra? Well, let's see. Dracula is an immortal bat vampire creature versus a giant moth that is probably not immortal. I'm going to probably go with Dracula, even though I like Mothra more.
Yeah, I actually have to go with Dracula on this, knowing Castlevania lore, because Dracula not only is a vampire, he is still part dragon, thus the name Draculia, son of the dragon.
Yeah.
And
he is not a normal as he stated to Trevor, I am not a normal vampire.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
Mothra is
like
immortal?
your human magics, yeah.
Mothra is immortal, is it?
Yeah, it can be revived over time. But in the end, Dracula's controlled beings that are far larger than Mothra, so I'm pretty sure Mothra would probably have to fall in line.
Well, that, and let's not forget that Dracula is a very skilled polymath and autodidact who has gathered millennia worth of what passed for science in the Greco-Roman times and also magic. So Mothra might be fucked.
Mothra is a god? Yeah, I know a lot of humans believed it to be a god.
Yeah,
right. They did the same thing with Godzilla because God is in his name.
Yeah, I mean, okay,
not
just
the original pronunciation.
Oh yeah, true. Right.
Just to deviate a little bit. One, I'm going to comment on both these things, but first things first. Turtle Time, why the hell did you bite a turtle? And two, whenever it comes to Mothra being a god, Mothra is viewed as a god, and technically is classified as one because Japan classifies a lot of beings that are higher than their knowledge base as gods. In the end, it's still a semi-mortal, immortal being. It is weird as it is to describe it like that because it can be killed, but it revives over centuries or time. Yeah.
It can be put in a stasis that is very similar to death, more or less.
Kind of like what Dracula, what happens in Castlevania whenever Dracula dies. He takes an extended vacation and then comes back.
Although, in fairness, a lot of that has to do with the Forge Masters. Getting back on to topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then let's not forget the one thing that they actually didn't show that Dracula has managed to control in the past, which is the Forgotten One. Holy Christ, the Forgotten One.
I hope they're saving that. I hope they don't just leave it out. I hope they're saving it.
Yeah, they probably will save it because the only appearance I remember it actually making in the mainline Castlevania franchise is Lament of Innocence, which I'm glad they referenced with Leon Belmont having his portrait in the series. That was amazing. Mm-hmm. Most people write off the PS2 games because they think, oh, it's just PS2. It's bad because there were loading screens. No, there were loading screens. It's PS2 and a disc game. What do you expect?
Yeah.
But yeah, in Castlevania Lament of Innocence, there is a demon known as the Forgotten One, who's supposed to be known as the most powerful demon of all time. And Dracula, no joke, just put his thumb down, got a hold of it. And it's also well known in Castlevania lore that Dracula essentially killed Satan and took his powers.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, so
Which
Dracula's
is why
killed
it was
gods
absolutely
before.
hysterical in season 1 when they call him Satan and he just kind of rolls his eyes like,
Well,
Drac, I love you.
you mean the snapping turtle? Are we talking about snapping turtles now? Oh boy.
Or is Turtle Time just trying to be snappy?
Who
We
would
must
win?
ask ourselves.
Dracula versus Godzilla? Probably Dracula again.
Yeah,
If
Dracula's.
Mothra can't win, what makes you think Godzilla's going to be able to manage?
Then again, Godzilla did go through literal hell and came out fine, so
True.
True.
more
And,
debatable.
and he became a zombie before, too. So.
You know what? I think I know what would happen. They look at each other. They both go, yeah, humankind has screwed up enough. So Dracula would ride on the back of Godzilla into battle. There we go.
Yeah, that
Yes!
is always an option. I always hate when people immediately jump to versus battles in cases of characters that probably wouldn't fight each other. Like,
Yep.
It's the same thing they do every time somebody brings up Doctor Strange versus Doctor Fate. My answer is no. They would join forces and kick the ass of whatever entity decided to put them against each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Godzilla is my love child. Jay, we might have to have a discussion on what you've been laying down with. Yeah, basically. What you've been banging under the sheets, my friend.
Yeah, we might have to pull a Tommy from the room and ask about your sex life.
I mean, if he wants to make it more exciting, props to him. I mean, because I don't know that it can get more exciting than finding a kaiju to do that with. I mean, that's gonna take some skill. No lie.
Well, I mean, it brings up the same questions as the old Cartoon Network show Fire Breather did. Does anyone remember that?
I can't remember that show.
I remember I remember bits of it, but I don't remember the main premise of that show.
It was based, I believe, on a comic. It was a kid turns out to basically be a demi-kaiju because his mom laid with like the leader of a group of kaiju, and so he's part human, part kaiju.
Fair enough.
Part of me is just like, but how would that even work?
Yeah. Godzilla defeated Zeus.
Yeah, he did.
Well, then maybe Dracula might actually be, if it was to be a one-on-one confrontation, there might be a chance for Godzilla.
It depends on whether or not Dracula is feeding. If Dracula is feeding, then I would still probably put it in Dracula's favor. If Dracula is abstaining like he did at the end of Castlevania Season 2, that's at least more arguable.
Yeah. It would also be very weird because Godzilla is so goddamn big, and I know that Dracula can shapeshift, but how big Dracula can get, I do not know.
Actually, here's one thing. We don't actually have a game to show it, but we actually have lore snippets from Castlevania Aria of Sorrow and Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow that tell us about the Demon Castle War that happened in 1999, which is Julius Belmont's story. No joke. The entire world was his battlefield. He was everywhere. The dead rose from all over the world. Pretty much it took mankind actually uniting on a single front in order to finally stop him.
Wow. Okay, well, at least that gives me an idea of how big he could potentially have gotten.
Yeah,
he chooses to.
Yeah, he was going to cause a apocalyptic event.
Yeah, when he was doing his big climactic speech at the end of Castlevania Season 2, he was not bullshitting. When he says, "I am Dracula Tepish and I have had enough," that is your cue to cut and run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but
yeah.
It's definitely an insane franchise that I really love because they decide, you know what? We're dealing with movie monsters and standard mythology as well. Let's just go ham.
Why not?
Just go all the way and take it 100% seriously pretty much the whole time.
Yep.
Yep. Why not? Why not just have fun with it?
And to his credit, the anime is an excellent adaptation of at least Dracula's Curse.
Yeah.
Yes.
Out of all of the video game based adaptations I've seen, it's probably one of the best ones I've ever seen, actually.
I would go farther than that. I think it's the best Western anime or best Western video game adaptation that we've seen in a very long while. And
Yeah.
possibly the first genuinely good one.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, it was actually so good that, no joke, even though it's only the first 4 episodes, I bought season 1 on Blu-ray.
You know, the reason why it was so short was it was originally supposed to be a movie and a trilogy. That's why season 2 ends with Dracula dying and then Easter egging the resurrection, because it was originally supposed to be 3 2-hour movies that they split into 4 half-hour episodes in the first the first season, and then 2 four episode arcs in the second season. So I don't know where we go from here. I'm hoping we go to I'm hoping we go somewhere that eventually leads us to time jumping ahead a little bit, because as much as I love Trevor, there's only so much you can do with Trevor and Sypha, at least currently.
Yeah.
I would really like to see them eventually get to some of the more noteworthy. But and again, I love Trevor, but I want to see Simon. God damn it!
Yeah, I think that's what everyone's waiting on. They're waiting on Simon, which would happen after season 3, because season 3 would be Curse of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And after season 3, and after Curse of Darkness, the next game in the timeline actually is the original Castlevania or Castlevania 4, whichever one you prefer.
I'm betting they'll probably stick at least one season in between season 3 and the season where we adapt Simon's story, because I'm betting that there'll be at least one season with Camilla as a main antagonist.
Well,
I don't know if they're gonna have her be the main antagonist for season 3, or if they're going to have her be the main antagonist for season 3, get bound to a mask by being defeated somehow, and then come back, because the forms that we know Camilla most for are her mask form and her demon riding a skull form, and we haven't seen either of those yet.
I would say that my prediction for season 3 will probably be Camilla versus I confused the two Forge Masters.
Hector's the good one.
Which one is good? Because neither of them
the
are
naive one. The
one that she
adult
took
version of Nuke's Commander one is Hector.
Yeah, the one she took is Hector.
Okay, I'm thinking it'll probably be a fight between Camilla and Isaac, if I were to hazard a guess.
Yeah, it might be a fight.
He's building his own army now, so
true. Well, thing is, he's
what
actually
that
just
might
building
mean,
his own.
I don't know.
Yeah.
As much as I like Camilla, I kind of want them to call back to something that was established in season 2 and be like, you know how all beings forged by a Forge Master are loyal to the Forge Master? And you know how you just had me forge you an army? Well, payback is a bitch. Snap.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to see that too. But I do bet that Camilla probably will be the main villain of season 3, because that's what they've sort of built it up to be. Yeah. And instead of following just Trevor and Sypha, I have a feeling it's going to follow Hector more, because again, Curse of Darkness followed Hector, who ended up teaming up with Trevor in the game to take down the forces that were, well, let's face it, they're reviving Dracula. They're going to revive Dracula.
Yeah.
They're going to, because once again, he's one of the most unkillable people in this franchise, and for another, he's fucking Dracula. He's unkillable in just about every ounce of literature we have.
Yeah.
Yep. And yeah, a fun fact though, in every single Castlevania series, whenever Dracula comes back, it's actually not by his own magic that he comes back. What is that people are still in a cult of Dracula. They actually go and find a way to revive him.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Isaac that ends up being the in anime universe one that starts that.
Yeah, well, one thing I actually think it might be is that they're going with actual Curse of Darkness lore. Will be that Isaac will be the one that ends up being used as the catalyst to resurrect him. But I think it might actually bring death finally into the series, because we have not seen the Grim Reaper yet.
we have not, and it would be fucking badass. Although, as long as we're voting for characters that need to make at least one appearance, I want Grant, because Grant's awesome.
Yeah, Grant does need to be in there. Actually, Grant had more of a presence in Curse of Darkness's manga, so Grant might be being saved for the Curse of Darkness timeline.
Okay, I'm gonna go to chat real quick. Turtle time. Would you play something I recommended? Maybe, depends on what it is. And Jay asking Rabbit to bring back the Dark Souls streams.
Well, Dark Souls will be coming back on my channel after a while. I'm just, I have some plans.
So apparently Mothra has an attack called Sunstrike Buster.
Oh, Mothra has Solar Beam.
Yes, because that's exactly what Turtle Time described it as. Mothra, Solar Beam!
I mean, I knew Mothra had a powerful attack, but I wasn't sure what the name was called.
I think we got it. I will enjoy the following list if games I know. Well, there's so many games out there, man. And I don't know if I can get to anyone or everyone's requests. So, I mean, I've got a list of mangas that I'm going to have to be doing first impressions on probably next week. Because after the Shonen Jump video, people were like, hey, why don't you check out some of the newer books that have started coming out and share your thoughts and first impressions on them. I'm like, okay, that sounds like actually a very good idea. And that's at least 3 videos worth because people recommended at least 3 that are newer.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of games, I was talking to you when I mentioned earlier that you'd probably really enjoy Castlevania Aria of Sorrow. I forget, you have access to a Wii U, correct?
At the moment, kind of, yes. It's my brother's.
Ah, right. All right.
Not mine. I don't own it. It's his.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I was going to say, if you don't want to do emulation, which is easily done with a certain visible events. All right. If you don't want to do that, Aria of Sorrow is actually on the Wii U's Virtual Shop.
Yeah.
Virtual Console for about, I want to say it's $8 total. It's actually fairly cheap on there.
Well, if it's a GBA game, it would probably be about $8 because I bought what was the GBA game? What was it? I bought Fire Emblem 8 on
Sacred Stones. Yes.
I bought Sacred Stones, so I think I paid about $7 or $8 for it. So yeah, more than likely, yeah. If it's a GBA title, that's probably what the going price of it is. And yeah, I'd probably check that out if I ever get a chance to.
Fair enough.
Jay has to go to sleep, guys.
Oh,
it's
good night, Jay.
For him. Well, I mean, he's in the UK, so it's understandable. For him, it's already late. Have a good night,
to our favorite drunken bastard.
Yes.
Good night, Jay. You have a good one.
Okay, so Turtle Time now has told me the list of games apparently that he wants me to play. Pikmin 1, 2, and 3. Not
SCP
really
Containment Breach, which is PC.
Rabbids Go Home. WarioWare Gold. Jurassic Park Danger. I don't know what Jurassic Park Danger is. No to the Rabbids because screw you. Also to WarioWare, no thank you. I'll pass. SCP might be fun, but I'm not really big into horror, so. Well,
that would make it even better. Just play it, record your reaction to it, and you're good. You're golden. You'll get millions of views.
Right, in an oversaturated market with a bunch of overexaggerated people.
You'd be surprised how well horror game stuff still goes on YouTube.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it goes just fine. Although it didn't go very well for my Resident Evil 4 Let's Play.
Well, that one's more of an action horror game. The ones that are just straight horror, people tend to watch those because they love seeing people's reactions.
If you want to hear me scream, really? That is the thing you want to get off on, Turtle Time? Is that the thing that is interesting?
I was about to say, was he gonna make you squeal like a piggy?
If you want to hear my genuine reaction of screaming and whatnot, there are plenty of videos already on the channel to do that. like I said, you can watch me play Resident Evil. There are points in time where I actually get either jump scared or spooked and do scream, though it's rare. If you want to hear me just genuinely just scream at the top of my lungs out of anger, you can always watch my Dragon Ball Z. What Dragon Ball Z?
Xenoverse.
Yeah, the Dragon Ball Xenoverse gameplay. Because right around about halfway point through that series, I just freaking gave up. I'm like, nope, I'm done. This shit is trash. I'm out.
Yeah, to be fair, that game was meant to be played multiplayer, but yeah.
And the sad part is you can't play story mode on multiplayer, can you?
I thought you could.
No, you can't. Not in the first one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the game is designed for multiplayer, for like team ups and whatnot, but that was the mechanic they stripped away from the main campaign. You know how we play Gundam Breaker?
Yes.
We'll play the old Gundam Breaker games and we could play story mode together. Or we play Monster Hunter and we play story mode together. They had the similar setup, but they didn't implement it into story mode. Exactly.
Ow.
Good job.
Stupid. So very stupid.
It is stupid because there are fights where if the ally dies, you lose. And the AI is an idiot. In comparison to the enemy AI that knows exactly what it's doing. They give you a retarded AI to cover your ass.
So Dragon Ball Z game symptom. Gotcha.
I've played better Dragon Ball Z games. Even most of the ones like during the PS2 era are infinitely better than that. Even
except
like
for Sagas sucks.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Sagas is trash, but ones like Budokai Tenkaichi and whatnot, and that particular subset of games, as lackluster as they are, they're still better than that. Because at least I can actually beat the game. I couldn't beat Xenoverse because it hampers and limits you in every conceivable way they possibly can.
Did you ever try Cuphead, Nightwolf?
Huh?
Was that Dalton? You're coming in quiet.
I asked Nightwolf if he ended up trying Cuphead.
Nope, not yet. I don't like rage-inducing games. It's fun for views, but
So what I'm getting from that?
I'm not a masochist.
All right, Dalton. This means we need to make sure Wolf only plays the Metroidvania version of Castlevania games.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Okay, because here's the thing. Rabbit likes challenging games that literally will take him to a very, very uncomfortable place. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So Rabbit, have you played Cuphead? Then is my question.
I actually have not had the chance, but I have beaten Super Contra.
I think you should give Cuphead a try. It's really good. It's got an interesting mechanic. It's like an old run-and-gun platformer type, but it's an homage to like classic animation.
I've seen it. It looks really fun.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've watched people play it. It's a good game. I'm not gonna knock it for that. I'm okay with challenge, and that game probably has at least a decent challenging thing. But here's the thing. Rabbit should already know this because he asked me to play Bloodborne, and he already knows how I feel about overtly hard games. Because I've played games that have harder difficulties later on. So
what I'm getting is that he trolled you by getting you to play Bloodborne.
No, I already knew the game was hard. He recommended that I play it because he was thinking that we would maybe play it together at some point.
Yeah, I do still have it. That is still a plan of mine.
I think I uninstalled it. I can reinstall it at any given time, but I had to make space for other games, so...
Fair enough. You did recently get Fate Extella, right?
Yeah. That thing doesn't take up any space. What are you talking about? But my brother bought Fallout 4, and that takes up a heap of space.
Oh yeah, so, any open world game like that takes up a massive amount of space on a hard drive.
But yeah, if you go back and you go and find my Bloodborne playlist, which I think is maybe 2 videos, maybe 3.
I think it was about 3, And you actually were getting better at the game as you kept on playing.
Yeah, but and I think I could have gotten better if I would have, had more patience, but I hate being hindered and not making any type of headway or progress, because if the game constantly is kicking my ass, I eventually am just going to throw the controller and just say, nope, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I was having some fun with it. It's not a bad game. It's just
that boss got under your skin. And I didn't mention this to you at the time, but the cleric beast you were fighting, that's an optional side boss that's harder than the first boss.
Remember, you told me.
I did? Ooh.
I didn't know that. That's the thing. It's like they leave things ambiguous enough to let you know that there are like alternate paths, other ways you can go, but they never. But considering that it's pretty vague in that department, it's like we want you to figure it out, kind of thing, which I appreciate. But at the same time, it's when you told me that, it made me feel like a goddamn idiot. I'm like, I could have skipped him. Of course, granted, it wouldn't matter. I'd probably get floored by the next boss after him anyway. But
actually, the boss that's supposed to be the first boss, Gascoigne, however you pronounce it, he's actually fairly easier if you make sure to do the RPG steps and find the proper equipment.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that, but those types of games just are not something that I enjoy playing on my own. It's very irritating. It's hard. I like having, I don't mind a challenge, but also when the challenge becomes ridiculously too hard, I tend to give up and I tend to move on to something else, because it's like, screw that. I don't have time for this. I don't like being halted in progress. I don't mind a challenge, but I don't want to be completely like full stop. Now you have to waste several hours fighting this one thing. I don't have the patience for it.
Though with how you are getting in Monster Hunter, you might be able to. Monster Hunter will give you good practice for games like Dark Souls and Bloodborne.
Probably. Yeah.
Because it's just pattern recognition.
Yeah. I mean, there have been games that I've played where it's like there's the difficulty spikes up. And in some cases, I can, eventually get past it. Like playing the original Gundam Breaker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. The game gets harder as you play, but that's why multiplayer exists. You're supposed to play, because like the last 2 or 3 stages are meant to be played with a team. Not with AI and not with a weak suit. You have to play it with a group. Because otherwise, you're not making it through that thing alive. They will kill you. Automatically. The enemies are far too strong. Want to challenge play Fortnite? No. I don't want to play Fortnite.
Ooh. The only version of Fortnite that's any good anymore is the co-op survival mode, and that's pay to play, so screw it.
Yeah, no thank you. I'll pass.
I'm sorry, they get enough money off their free-to-play microtransactions. They don't need pay to play anymore.
Yeah. I mean, what is... I mean, I don't mind playing. I like playing Fire Emblem, even though I play it on normal difficulty. I don't play it on the overtly hard difficulties. That's a challenge enough where I think okay, I could probably do a better job if I fail once or twice. Okay, I screwed up. I think I can fix this.
Yeah, and normally you can in Fire Emblem. Yeah. Because
although when I normally am playing a lot of the newer ones, I'm playing it on the more casual setting because I just want to see the story. That's all I really care about.
Fair enough.
I mean, let's see. I think I was playing what was it? I was playing Fire Emblem Fate. I was playing which route is it? The third route.
Oh, Revelation.
Yeah, I was playing through Revelations. I was still playing casually, but I was still playing as if I was playing on on classic challenge mode, and to see how far I could get before a teammate died. Did pretty well until I fought that boss in the Wind Village, and he floored one of my units.
Ooh.
So until that point, I was doing pretty good.
Fair enough. Oh, man,
Eternal Time Live. Are you promoting your channel on my channel? Curse you! That's for my co-host, not for you.
I was about to say, is this a new rule that no one told me about now?
It's not my rule. This is Night Wolf's Law. If you don't like it, you can leave. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Turtle Time's gonna do whatever the hell he wants to do. He is the goofy troll account that likes to follow me around. So
he has a very hard shell. Our Turtle Time.
Turtle Time promoting his channel. Interesting. But sorry for the tangent. But yeah, if people want to see me scream and get actually pissed off at something, yeah, go watch the Xenoverse playthrough. It's fine for the first few episodes, and then eventually it gets to be gut-wrenchingly hard to watch. Even I don't like the last couple videos. I was genuinely pissed off. If people thought my rant videos were me being mad, no. Nothing in comparison to that. It's far worse. I ripped that game a new asshole for how bullshit it was. It's like, oh yeah, sure. I get to fight Trunks. Or I get to have Trunks on my team while I fight Whis. And what the hell is that cat character's name? What the hell is his name?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember because I'm not a big Dragon Ball Z guy.
I was trying to remember that he's that god of destruction. Looks like a pharaoh cat thing.
Oh, Beerus.
Beerus, yeah. You have to fight Whis and Beerus at the same time.
Ooh.
And your only ally in that fight is Trunks.
That sounds like cancer, is what it sounds like. That sounds like absolute...
Oh boy, is it. It's terrible. I tried so many times. I tried off screen. I tried on screen. No dice. And and the thing is, I don't care how much you have to grind it. I could have grinded probably to a level 100 and I probably still wouldn't have beat it. I've seen people beat them, but here's the thing. Everybody who was playing that game, for the most part, they're all playing it as Saiyans. And every single class has a specific stat boost or something that gives them an edge. They have less adaptivity of gathering key energy, which means it takes them longer to charge, but they are significantly stronger with physical attacks. And I chose not to do that.
Ooh.
Don't
you know anything about DBZ, man? If you're not an alien or a Saint, or if you're not an alien, you don't matter.
I wasn't.
If you're not a Saiyan or a Namekian, you are fucked.
Exactly. That's what I was a Frieza race, and a lot of good that did me. How did
one thing I can say to that? There you go.
That reminds me of when they finally got around to doing the Cell arc in DBZ Abridged, and Ten Shinhan goes against Imperfect Cell, and he's just like, you're not a Saiyan or a Namekian, so you don't matter. And Ten Shinhan just like KO, repeatedly. Just and even when Cell reaches his perfect form, he's still like, hello, Ten Shinhan. He's still sore over it. I love DBZ Abridged. I'm sad they stopped the Cell arc, but still.
Yeah, I kind of personally wish that's where they did pretty much end the story of Dragon Ball Z. Because afterwards, it kind of went off the rails. It's like, if you were going to continue with the Buu saga and whatnot, Gohan should have remained the main protagonist throughout. Yeah, I love Goku and Vegeta, but it was Gohan's story, and you screwed it up. You took it away.
It's funny that the Cell arc is where it stopped, because the Cell arc and the Android arc was my first introduction to DBZ when I was a kid. So it was very nostalgic for me to be like, oh yeah, I remember the Cell arc.
Cell arc is great.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite ones, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of arcs, What are you most looking forward to in the next arc and season of Castlevania?
I went to see more vampires. Just kidding. It's like I think considering I kind of already have a feeling that, it's going to be some sort of fight between what was it? Camilla and what was his name? Isaac.
Isaac.
Yeah. I think it might be a fight between those two, which at least that's my guess of what they might do. But of course, we don't know what they'll do because we have no information.
True. Fair enough. But I was mean, like, what are you hoping will be in it? Aside from the stuff that will most likely be in, just what are the stuff you actually hope will be in?
The one thing that I'm curious about is what they're going to do with Alucard, actually.
He's probably going to take the back seat for a while.
Aw.
Which is sad because I kind of want to see him. I want to see an arc with him, like going through the various things in the Belmont and his father's collection. It's just like he could be OP as fuck in a few seasons if he genuinely applies himself to studying his father's shit and the Belmont horror.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could become a god, similar to his father. Basically.
And I'm good with that.
Yeah. I agree.
Sorry, I missed this comment from Brainstormer. Have I seen the Darth Vader fan film? I have not watched it yet. I know it exists. I can't remember what channel made it, but I do know of it. I just haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet.
Yeah. And like I said, the thing I'm looking forward to most, or what I would like to see happen most, is Hector turning the tables on Camilla with the whole the things forged by a forge master are loyal to the forge master thing.
Oh yeah,
that would be amazingly gratifying. Like, you do remember that all things forged by a forge master are loyal to the forge master, and then you had me forge you an army. So, click.
Yeah. To be honest, the main thing I'm hoping to see out of season 3 is to see more of the monsters brought in, because we didn't see the werewolf, we didn't see the mummy, we didn't see Medusa. I'm hoping to have a bunch of these monsters finally come in, just stuff like that. And also, I'm looking at Tripp's comment about how he wants the little girl with guardian familiars. Okay, it's Trevor, generations gap, then Simon, generation gap, then Juiced, generation gap to I believe after Juiced, I believe it's Richter Belmont. So we've got 3 Belmont generations to go before we see Maria.
Unfortunately,
which does give a definitive and concrete answer to the immortal question of how do you solve a problem like Maria?
Let's see. Brainstormer talking, saying he's interested in the Devil May Cry anime.
Yeah, it is going to be. Well, the anime is already out, so I guess he's talking about the Western animated series.
Yeah, I think that's what he's referring to.
Yeah,
it's the same creative team.
Yeah, I think they'll do a good job with it. I mean, they did a good job with Castlevania, and Devil May Cry is actually pretty similar in tone, save a little more silly.
I would say it's a little more silly and a little bit more kind of, I guess you could say, hard rock, metal type stuff. It likes
I'd also, as long as we're asking for fanboy related things, somehow to bring Godbrand back, because Godbrand was just too funny to let die in the way that he did.
That would be nice. He was one of the funniest things throughout the show.
Agreed.
That and Sypha having to mommy Alucard and Trevor every 5 minutes.
Yes. I love that stuff.
Children.
They're not children.
Yes, fuck you.
Yeah. Sorry, you're both kids. Both behave like children.
Let's face it, guys. We never grow up. We just grow taller.
Yeah, this is true. Although speaking of sci-fi, I would like to see her incorporate more elaborate magics and not just elemental shit.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, in the game, she was only elemental. So the main thing they never really showed was her lightning spell. So it'd be nice to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And once again, now that presumably she'll have full access to the entirety of the magical library of Wallachia, basically,
Yeah.
she should really be able to upgrade significantly. I also wouldn't mind seeing other speakers, especially other speaker magicians.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Video
Because
games.
they really did kind of make it seem like it was just her, and Trevor made it very clear that it wasn't just her. It was a thing the speakers did in general. So, like,
Yeah.
Yep.
What video game do you want a series based on? Are we talking about in general, or are we talking about Castlevania only?
I think I think he's talking in general with how it's how he's talking about a series because Castlevania's already got a series, so
Yeah,
it does.
I'm sketchy on it because seeing as how they do tend, sometimes I would say it's a coin toss, but most of the times it's really not. When Hollywood gets their hands on anything in general, I fear for its safety and well-being at this point. I try and remain hopeful and optimistic, but yes, it's a thing of, will they screw this up or will they not?
Speaking of that, what did you guys think of, to change the subject slightly, the Detective Pikachu advertising so far?
I think it looks amazing.
It does. I want a Pokemon cinematic universe.
You know what? That probably wouldn't be so bad. I wasn't sure. I saw the trailer, and at first I was like, "Is this the real thing? Oh, okay, this is interesting." And then I showed it to both my mom and my brother, and they're like, "Okay, that's really cool. We want to go see that."
Yeah.
So I know that's a movie that she is looking forward to.
Yeah, and I like the fact that they actually pay attention to the descriptions of the Pokemon and the Pokédex entries, because everyone was complaining about Jigglypuff having fur, but that's in the Pokédex entries. It has fur.
Yeah,
fluffy. It's a fluffy creature. I mean, the only Pokemon that was in the trailers and whatnot that made me go, okay, I'm highly uncomfortable is Mr. Mime. That's it.
Well, he always makes
he's
you
a mime,
uncomfortable.
so
yeah, he's a mime. He's supposed to make you uncomfortable. No, it's not just his expression and whatnot. It's the fact that it's a very realistic looking one, and it's just, there's that.
It's a mime. So yeah,
he's humanoid. That's, I think, the point I'm trying to make.
Ooh, could you imagine Hypno?
I prefer not to.
I hope Alakazam is cute. Alakazam was always one of my favorites.
Alakazam might be, but Alakazam might be less. Out of a lot of the first gen Pokemon, Mr. Mime is one of the ones that is the closest looking to a human.
Yeah.
And to make it a CG animated thing with humanoid kind of features and expressions is a bit unsettling.
It's also accurate, and it's also supposed to be a mime, so
yeah, it still doesn't mean I'm not uncomfortable around the damn thing.
and seeing as they're doing, seeing as they're exploring the Pokemon universe without really bringing in Ash, which I think was the smart decision to do.
Yeah,
I'm hoping that the next sort of spin on the Pokemon cinematic universe, if we do get one, is going to follow Aaron, the Aura Master who had the telepathic Lucario.
That would be neat. That I would like to see.
Because it would basically give Pokemon the chance to do a straight up fantasy movie if they wanted to.
Yeah,
and I'm in favor of that.
Yeah, I like the trailer. I also thought that Ryan Reynolds was a good pick. I know a lot of people were like, we wanted Danny DeVito, but I was like, I know why they picked Ryan Reynolds. It's very obvious why.
Dead and pool are the two words that spring to mind.
Well, not only that, but just Ryan Reynolds has been on the rise in popularity lately, and they needed a big name actor that has a lot of
Deadpool.
Well, yeah, Deadpool and all the other movies he's been in.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And mostly Deadpool.
Mostly Deadpool. Yeah.
That, and I'm fairly certain that Danny DeVito isn't a fan of Pokemon.
Probably
Which
not.
is sad.
Wouldn't surprise me. He is an older man. Old gentleman.
I do hope is that since Trigglypuff is in there, we'll get to see her get upset and draw things on
Yeah,
people.
she was. Yeah, she was holding the marker whenever we saw the upset face.
What's a Pikachu?
But to answer the question on my end, I'd like to see Kid Icarus get a TV series. Specifically Uprising, because the writing in that was brilliant. It's got a solid fantasy adventure, but it's full on comedy. I love it.
You know what they could do? They could adapt every character that appeared in Captain N and then bring them together in a Captain N series.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. Captain
a
Reunion.
remake of the Captain N remake, yeah.
I know they've been talking about doing a Legend of Zelda animated series or something, but
that would work, and I would want to see a Castlevania Legend of Zelda crossover. I think Link and Trevor would get along really well.
yeah, the silent protagonist with the guy who can't shut up.
That would be interesting to see a Legend of Zelda one though, because it'd have to be 2D, and I'd recommend the people who animated the reveal for Palutena and Smash Brothers 4, because they did a great job on animating Link.
Yeah.
But
The only proviso I would have is some events need to conspire to have the first word Link say be "Excuse me, princess." It has to be done.
Just a little, just a slight bit of nostalgia, please. That'd be fine.
yeah, I mean,
what series? There's been so many attempts to try and do series of several different things, and just most of them don't turn out well. Boy.
Yeah, it would be hard to do a Legend of Zelda one though, because you'd actually have to break the rule. You would have to have Link talk for a TV show.
Yeah.
But you know what? The voice acting in Breath of the Wild wasn't as bad as people said it was. I thought it was okay. It fit. It worked.
Yeah.
So, just go with something like that. And it'd have to be a bit of a mid-tone voice for Link, because we know his battle cries are a little more high-pitched, but normally whenever you're fighting and you're crying out anything, you're a little bit higher pitched than your normal speaking voice. I'd say a mid-tone.
Yeah. I think that it would be nice for them to maybe take another shot at Final Fantasy. But then again, I don't trust Square Enix to do anything right at this point, except for maybe Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, I trust Enix, but I don't trust Square.
I trust neither, because they're together as far as I'm concerned.
Well, Enix is the side that was responsible for Bravely Default, Octopath Traveler, as well as Dragon Quest XI, which all actually did really well.
That's true. I just don't trust them with any form of a film property or anything. That's what I'm basically getting at. Because they normally keep all that stuff in-house and they don't really outsource very much. So if they were to do another project that's Final Fantasy film-based, it's going to be in-house and it's probably going to suck, because most of them do. I mean, let's see. They did that short animated series for Final Fantasy 15. Was pretty pointless, because it didn't help me like Final Fantasy 15 at all, though people recommend it. It's like, watch the movie and watch the Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood anime. Then you'll understand things better. It's like, I should be able to understand it when I'm in that goddamn video game.
Yeah. I mean,
here's the thing. I bash on 13 for basically making up a lot of gibberish words and shit that I don't understand, but at least there's a compendium of information that I have to read to understand. But at least it's in the game. That's what I will give it credit for. At least it's in the game itself, and I don't have to go to an outside source to find out what the hell's going on.
Yep. And
15 did none of that.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, controversial opinion here, but with how 13 actually went and, as you said, had information available for you, and the way they told their story, as well as the adventure. Yeah, it's a hallway at the first half, but then it expands after you get to the second half.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but 13 was more Final Fantasy than 15.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, because they took the fantasy out of it entirely. Sure, there are monsters in the world, but the world itself is not really very fantastical or fantasy.
I mean, honestly, I think the Final Fantasy franchise just needs to stop. Just stay with their MMO they got. That's the only thing they got going for them right now.
Yeah, pretty much. And do all the smaller projects. The thing is, like, I would really like it if they would dedicate time to the other franchises. And they're starting to do that, but I don't know how long they're going to focus on them. It's like, if you guys even gave half a shit, we wouldn't have this problem that I have with you. It's like, if Kingdom Hearts came out during the PS3 era, I wouldn't be nearly as pissed at you as I am now.
Yes, but woof, that would require caring. We can't do that.
That's because here's I know people make the joke about Square Enix, but it is very appropriate. All they do is advertise trailers. Yeah. It's literally a trailer company.
Yeah,
that's all they are. Yeah. It's like, if you see a trailer for an upcoming game, don't expect it for probably about 10 years or more. That's what I'm
just
telling
don't expect
you
it at all. It's not coming out. Final Fantasy.
It's not happening. It's not happening. It's never gonna happen. It's not coming out anytime soon. I mean, it took forever it took a while for 13 to come out, and that actually I noticed this because I used to be pretty diehard in collecting and buying the games from Square because that was my favorite company at the time. So the development cycle and period between games wasn't this bad. Like the development cycle between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, that was like about 4 to 5 years until it came out. And that's not that bad. That's reasonable considering how much they overhauled it. And there was like 10 and 12 had not really that big of a gap in between them. And then you go to 13. 13 took, I don't even remember how long 13 took.
I think 13 took 6 years to make.
6 years, maybe 7. Somewhere in that ballpark. And then we had to wait for, and 14, you know, I'm skipping the MMOs because they're kind of their own entity, but 15 took over 10 years of development. And it's not, the funny thing is, it's like this wasn't even initially advertised as 15. It was 13 Versus.
Yeah.
And they retooled it to be 15, probably because they were clamoring like, oh shit, we need a new one. So, this is Final Fantasy 15, guys. This has no relation to 13 at all. Except for like creative staff and director, probably, or some of the creative staff being similar.
Yeah. Also, 14. What did we do with 14? Never mind.
Royally screw it up and then nuke the thing from orbit and start over.
Yep.
At least that's the funny thing. The revamped version of it actually is a very fun game. So,
yeah, I agree. From what I've seen, it looks like a solid MMO. I would still prefer Phantasy Star 2 over it, or Phantasy Star Online 2. Sorry,
yeah,
but
I played it, so it's a good game. It's solid. I wish that they'd finally go free to play because I think that would be nice, but
yeah,
they don't. Probably because Square Enix wants, because it's probably the only thing that isn't hemorrhaging money at this point.
Yeah, it's their cash cow. They can't afford to go free to play with it.
Well, I think that Kingdom Hearts 3 will probably net them good money because at least it looks like a good game. It just took way too long to get it.
Yeah,
and people are all like expecting 7 to come out.
It's not happening.
I don't expect it to come out for probably another 5 years. Or if it does come out, it'll be on the next console.
Yeah, remember how they kept on saying Final Fantasy VII Remake is coming out for the 360. Now it's coming out for the Xbox One, PS4. Now it's going to come out for the Xbox One, PS4, but as episodic. Now it's coming out for the Xbox One and PS4 and PC, but as a solid game. It's going to take us more years to put it all together. And then, of course, it's coming out eventually.
That's because you guys are trying too damn hard.
Yeah, and now when are we coming out for the Switch? Oh wait, the Switch is out of date now. We have to revamp it for the next generation.
Oh, trust me, that Final Fantasy VII was never going to make it to the Switch. That's not going to happen. The Switch is
Yeah.
a powerful system, but it does not have the graphical fidelity to pull that game off, no matter how hard Nintendo would try and push for it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's because
And
Square's tries way too hard to sell their games on the two big platforms, or the two that they consider to be their biggest market.
yeah,
And
and I'm going to be honest here. I loved Final Fantasy VII as a kid. I replayed it, not as good as I remember it. Matter of fact, I'd go so far to say as it's just an okay game.
yeah,
Mhm.
it is certainly not perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, I mean, of all the PlayStation Generation 1s, the PlayStation 1 games, Tactics is the only one that's aged well.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong, because Tactic is completely sprite based. All of the characters and whatnot in it are all in sprite form.
Oh, I'm not meaning art style. I'm meaning story wise.
Oh yeah, that too. The story's good too. It has actually the best story out of any Final Fantasy games that I've ever played. I think 7 is a good, really solid game. It hasn't aged well at all because it looks old as hell. It's still fun. Story's not bad. It's probably one of the better ones because it's like, out of all the PlayStation 1 generation ones, what do you want to play? You want to play a 7 that has a at least cohesive plot and isn't too insane? Or do you want to play 8 and be completely baffled and confused at what the hell's going on?
The answer is neither. You play Final Fantasy 9.
Well, yeah, there's 9 too. 9 had a really solid story. I never really got into it. I didn't like the art style when I first saw it.
Fair enough.
I mean, I think with the art style that they went with, I think that was a good call because it does make it look better.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it has aged a lot better than the other two, because 8 looks like shit no matter which way you look at it, because everything is heavily pixelated and you could see all the ridges and whatnot.
Not to mention the card system.
Oh, you mean the side game?
No. Sorry, the card system that they use for siphoning magic from the monsters.
You mean the draw system?
Yeah, draw system. I just call it card system because you draw cards.
Draw cards from your enemy.
It's just a thing of, that is such a bad thing. Plus, in that game, no joke, the monsters actually level up with you. So the main thing you want to do is beat the game without leveling up.
Yeah.
Because the more you level up, the harder the game's going to be. So if you just bum rush it through the game and just get better equipment, you're golden.
There are ways to cheat the system. I found out that there was a very quick and easy, effective way to get like max HP for your party that involved items and then turning those items into a draw type. I think it turned it into the highest form of cure magic, and then you just install that into one of the slots. Congratulations, you now have max HP.
Yeah.
As long as you never touch that formula of healing ever, you will never die. Ever. And I didn't know that when I originally played it, but now that, and I don't remember. It was several years back. I started playing 8 again for fun, and I went and got a strategy guide because I remembered there was some bullshit that I hated. And then I found that trick, and I'm like, this would make the game so goddamn broken. If it wasn't for this guide, if this was like open knowledge that everybody knew, they could have breezed through the entire game without any problems. Yep. And it's not, and you can get it really early on, like immediately after the exam.
Yeah.
Immediately after the exam ends, you can do this trick, and you can get at least one member of your party to have max health.
And that's really all you need. If you have one with max health, you can pretty much just bum rush the game.
Yep. Someone asking, what is our favorite evil team? I'm assuming from Pokemon. Sorry about that, guys. We've been on a tangent here. This was going to be about Castlevania, but for the most part, I think the Castlevania conversation is over.
Yeah, I mean, we did pretty much talk about what was in it already.
Mm-hmm.
Without spoiling too much, anyhow. Oh, except for one thing. During the fight with Dracula, no joke, whenever whenever Alucard and Dracula break into the room that has the fireplace, as that's happening, go frame by frame. Inside one of the walls, you will see wall chicken. I am not lying. It is actually in there. Check it out yourself.
Cool. So, okay. That was something I probably did not notice, because that fight does go pretty quickly.
Yeah, it zips.
It's a hidden Easter egg for you guys. Favorite evil Pokemon teams? Oh, I don't know. Are we talking? Well, let's see. The ones that I enjoyed the most. I'd probably go Team Plasma, because I like the gimmick of them just straight up lying. It's like, we're liberating Pokemon by stealing the Pokemon from you. It was funny. I did like they tried to make it
the social justice Pokemon thieves.
Kind of this. They tried to make it an ethical thing, like keeping Pokemon as slaves is wrong.
It's Petamon.
Yeah, kind of. Maybe it was
team thievery.
Kind of. Yeah. No, I mean, it does at least have to have the ethical question of, is it okay to catch Pokemon? It's an interesting
premise. Yes.
The answer is it is okay, for anybody who's wondering. But I don't know, maybe they did it because it was like a response to PETA or something. I don't know.
Who knows?
Maybe someone saw that and they saw how PETA has been bashing Pokemon for a long time. They're like, maybe we should take advantage of this and basically write in PETA.
Somebody was just listening to the theme song and got really, really high and went, we say we have to catch them all, but should we? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
The question is, the ethical quandary of, should we catch all the Pokemon? And is it right to keep them? I mean, they are wild creatures after all. Yes, I'm starting to think like they read off of a PETA's mantra page or something.
Somebody was watching Jurassic Park and got really stoned and was just like, "Hey, Dr. Malcolm makes a good point."
Maybe that is what they went with. I don't know, but whoever was the genius who did it, I did really enjoy it. Although the reveal at the end is like, oh yeah, actually no, we're actually full blown bad guys. It was kind of funny. It's like, Getsus is like, no, you all suck. I will be king of all. And then it's like, okay, now I gotta beat your ass, you crazy old coot. N was the one that I liked the most, so that was probably one of my favorite rivals in a long time, because not only did he feel like a genuine rival and an opponent, but at the same time, he did ask genuine questions. He was interested and curious.
True. He was definitely one of the better rivals.
And he's not evil either. He's just, just kind of there.
Yeah, though, here's the question. Can he technically be called a rival?
Yes, because Sharon and Bianca suck.
I was going to say, because he seems more... I don't know if he classifies as a rival, because you don't really see him that often. Because I do think Sharon is more of a rival in that game, but N is more of your... trying to think of the word for it. More of your foil, but at the same time your ally. Sort of the anti-hero character.
He could be that, or you could also consider him an antagonist, I guess, because he is more... Considering that he is kind of the unofficial leader of Team Plasma. Unofficial. You could go with the fact that he's basically the leader of the team, but in reality he isn't. He's just a puppet. So I consider him more of a rival, because fighting him actually, while not really an overt challenge, it feels like he's more of your opponent than Sharon is, because Sharon's already your friend, and so is Bianca. And Sharon is not really a challenge. Bianca's a harder opponent most of the time than Sharon is. So it's like, who's the real rival? I don't know. It's either a toss-up between N and Bianca is annoying, and I'd rather go with N.
Fair enough. But Yeah, in the end, it's the thing of they're they're all interesting in how that one goes. But oh wait, we were talking about what was it? Favorite
Evil
villains in Pokemon again?
evil teams.
I gotta go with the original Rocket just because I like my old school style gangsters, and I mean mob style gangsters, not gangsta. I mean actual cigar, bowler hat.
Hard R gangsters.
Yeah, and another reason why is I'm not gonna lie. Giovanni knows how to find the attractive ladies. It's fun to it's fun to fight with him.
Good point. Fair point. How about you, Dalton?
I I honestly don't know. You make a good point about plasma, just from the perspective of an anti-SJW. That kind of amuses me now, but like, I kind of got to go with the original Team Rocket because it's like you can't beat the classics.
Yeah, I like Team Rocket too. I think out of all of, I mean, if we were gonna go strictly by like team designs and whatnot, I would definitely prefer to. I prefer Team Rocket's look over Team Plasma's first design look. They tried to make them look like knights, but due to the way that the sprites look and whatnot, they look kind of derpy and not very effective at times. I mean, in Black and White 2, they look a lot better. They basically just look like they're a group of spies or something, like they're like an infiltrator group. They're like the last cell of a lost group, and they're just like, their uniforms just look slightly better in that one. But they also kind of look kind of similar to Team Rocket's uniforms with the berets and whatnot.
Fair enough.
But
also, Trip is right. Picking Team Rainbow Rocket is cheating.
I was also, and I mean it for another design for evil teams that I enjoy. I enjoy Magma's look. I like the hoodies.
Yeah,
the hoodies
cannot
cool.
deny that.
And Team Flare can go freaking bite me because I hate those outfits. The bright red outfits with orange hair is just like, okay, I get it. The theme is fire, but you're just annoying to look at.
Actually, the theme wasn't meant to be fire. It's actually meant to be fashion due to reasons. Right. That's why they call themselves Flare. But
because it's all about like a beautiful world and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I forgot.
That said, well, I don't think Team Flare is a good villain. Except for their goal. Their main goal was pretty villainous. But
genocide? Yeah, that's pretty villainous.
Yeah.
Not a good thing.
But as far as villains go, I do like them in terms of hilarity. That they were funny.
I prefer Team Skull, actually. They're far more entertaining. I don't like Flare's humor because I don't find them very funny. I just find them as a nuisance. But Team Skull's the whole yo, I'm a straight up gangster shtick is kind of funny to see when you read the text. It's like, I have to read it like this. There's no other option. I must read it as gangster as possible.
Yeah.
Must be done.
You're right.
And with all the crazy hand gesturing and whatnot, it's like, well, at least they're lively.
Yeah.
They're still an annoying team, but I find it at least funny to see them. And I've not played Sun and Moon myself, but but as a team, their design isn't too bad either. At least it fits with their personalities of gangsters. Modern interpretation of a gangster.
Yeah, I agree.
With all the hip hop and shit. Yep, it fits. It works. I was remembering in Black and White 2, you had a decent rival in that game too.
I actually never got to play Black and White 2. I played Black and White 1, but not Black and White 2.
Yeah, Black and White 2 was really good. His shtick as your rival, it's not like, Blue, where he's there to basically push your buttons like, I'm better than you, haha, I'm ahead of you, haha. He's closer to like from Gold and Silver, your rival in that game, where it's
Okay.
like I want to get stronger for my own personal reasons. And his whole I can't remember. I don't know his canon name, but his main shtick in Black and White 2 is I want to beat Team Plasma because they stole my sister's what is the name of that Pokemon? It's that dark type cat Pokemon that turns into Leopard, I think is what it's called. Or something to that nature. I don't remember the Pokemon. But Plasma stole his sister's Pokemon and he wanted to get it back. So he's a very highly motivated individual.
Yeah.
It's like, well, at least he's motivated, and I actually respect him for that. He's like, you better, because he's basically encouraging you better get stronger too. I'm not going to have you weigh me down. It's like, if we're going to take them on together, you better keep pace with me. It's like, fair enough. Good point. Good point. I'm with you, bro. I also liked his design. He was pretty cool looking.
True. Also, Wolf, I'm sorry to do this to you, but my back is acting up. I'm pretty sure you've seen me squirming around here for a while, so I'm actually going to have to bounce. It's starting to get real painful.
Yeah, that's fine. You can bounce, man. We got to the Castlevania stuff. We may, I don't know if we'll really even talk about much else, but you're free to go.
All right.
I give you permission.
All right.
Down the rabbit hole you go.
Yes?
What, Dalton?
I said down the rabbit hole you go.
Oh, down the rabbit hole. I thought you said hold on before you go.
No.
All right. But yeah, thanks again for having me on.
Yep, no problem. Everybody go check out Rabbit's channel. Okay?
Yep, I'm on YouTube /Rabbit Sensei Gaming. I've been doing a lot of, I've been posting VODs here lately. I've been uploading 20 to 30-minute episodes of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, as well as full hour-long episodes of the new Super Smash Bros. World of Light. So, if you want to see that stuff out, check out my channel. And again, well, thank you very much for having me on. This was a blast.
I'm glad we all had fun. I had fun too.
And pray for me whenever I have to do my stream in about 2 hours. Oh God, I better rest up in time. All right.
No, rest, but don't pass out completely, my friend.
I'll do my best. Get
Cheers.
you later, buddy.
Bye. Can I shoot the breeze? I don't know, Trip. If we put you on, we might be here for another 5 hours. So I'm not sure if I should. That is the conundrum that I find myself in right now. Is should I?
Well, Trip, the answer is as long as the breeze isn't too strong, otherwise you'll end up getting a blowback and shooting yourself in the head.
So
That was a joke that apparently no one got.
No, I think I
Okay.
did. It's fine. So opinions on Team Galactic. I'm not as well versed in Gen 4 Pokemon as others. Gen 4 was where I kind of stopped giving a crap about Pokemon for a while. Yeah, pretty much. That was kind of where I lost interest. I played 4 and then I got bored. I finished it. I remember finishing it, but after that, I have no fond memories of it. I would never. Sure, you say that, and then I put you on here. I'm here for another 3 hours. I'll just go hide about in the corner. Trip, you don't have to do that. You can stay and watch the stream. Keep going, Pokemon, then charge. What? I have no idea what he's talking about. New subject? Do we have a new subject? I don't really have any new subjects to talk about right now.
No, me either.
Not really. I mean, I'm pretty sure we've been here for, let's see, it's almost 6. We've probably been here for almost 2 hours. So
Yeah, and it's almost 9 where I'm at. So yeah. We started around 7 my time. So
yeah. Opinions on Aether. On what? Team Aether? I don't know anything about Team Aether. I haven't played Sun and Moon. So I know nothing. Except for Team Skull. That's all I know. No, that's not it, Trip. I'll try and have you on a stream like I don't know when, but I'll try and plan one where you can join in. Probably not this one, because we'll probably end it here in a couple minutes. But I'll have you on at some point, I'm sure. People are always bugging me. It's like, hey, I want to be on. I want to be on. It's like, what? You have channels of your own. Start streaming on your own channels. Invite people. Dagnabbit.
Well, I don't get streaming privileges yet because not enough
Yeah.
subscribers. Speaking
Yeah,
of
I
which,
know.
go and subscribe, please. And also watch my content. I don't get nearly as many views as I used to for some reason. I used to get like 20 to 30 views per video, and now I'm down to like 10 views if I'm lucky, and it annoys the fuck out of me. I don't know what happened. I'm betting it's something to do with the YouTube algorithm.
Probably. Yeah, that happens to me too. It's like I have over 800 subscribers and most of them are inactive. Surprisingly. I'm surprised YouTube hasn't purged them. I'm genuinely surprised that I still have that number, because it's like I'm lucky if my videos get like 50 viewers or 100. So most of mine are inactive, or at least they're inactive on my channel. I think that at least because I don't know, maybe it's because all my content is kind of divvied and split up amongst several different things all at once. You know, like I talk about games, movies, TV, anime, manga, all this other stuff, and maybe everybody just kind of divvied up into their own corners of my channel, and that's where they all reside. And why I don't get like all the views on every single video I do. That would be my guess anyway. It's either that, well, let's see. Before the notification button became a thing, I did have over 100 subs and whatnot, so probably there's a lot of them that never hit the notification button.
Probably.
And they probably haven't come back to the channel, so... You
Probably
want us to talk about SC?
Probably someone somewhere is going, hey, is that Nightwolf guy still doing anything? Yes, he is.
Just not gameplay-wise as much. Don't get me wrong. I like playing video games. I like streaming video games, but ooh boy, howdy. Doing normal Let's Plays can be very, very hard to do on a schedule. Turtle Time, why are you asking us about anything about SCP if you don't even know anything about SCP? Or if you only know very little? I don't understand. What place
trolling
this chat? What?
He's probably trolling.
Yeah. Well, he said he wants me to play SCP. Once I have a better computer, that might be something we do. Who knows? Plays? What does plays mean on this chat? Absolutely nothing. The plays is ambiguous. It means absolutely nothing at this point. I've considered changing it, but I don't really know if I'm even going to. Wolf, what is your Trip? We've discussed this already. You know who my favorite Pokemon is. You're working on a Pokemon tabletop. How could you even ask that question? I already told you my favorite one.
For the record, my favorite is Lucario.
Yeah. That's fine.
Lucario. And as far as the legendaries go, it's the unknown. Because the unknown are awesome.
Trip, you have to be trolling me. You must be trolling me at this point, because you have to be trolling me, because you can't forget you made the cards. You have it. You shared it with me, remember? The trainer that I made has my favorite Pokemon on it already. Come on, my dude. You have to remember. I'm not going to say it. I want him to remember. I'm going to have him go back to his tabletop things and check his character sheets that he has for both me and Rabbit. I'm gonna make you do it right now. Go and check your computer for yourself. Then go find the Pokemon card that you made. What's your most underrated? What, most underrated Pokemon that I like? I don't know. Most of mine are relatively popular. Although I know that probably some of them are not ones that people readily use. It'd probably be Pawniard and Bisharp, but that's just me. I like them. Shuckle or Cyndaquil? Cyndaquil. I know if you know who Kenshin is, then I shouldn't have to describe it. I'm gonna make him twist in the wind a little bit longer until he figures it out. Because you made the Pokemon card too, my friend. Don't forget. You like Zubat Turtle Time? Good for you. Glad you like Zubat. Zubat does not get enough love. He's actually... Zubat at first is kind of shit, but as it gets stronger, it does get better over time. And Cyndaquil and Shuckle are fine. Thought some comedy was needed. So you were trolling me. Aha! I found you out. Don't have to apologize. I figured you were trolling because it's like, there's no way he could forget. This is the guy who has so much needless information in his head enough as it is already. He couldn't have forgotten. Considering that we talked about it less than a few days ago. It's been like probably about a week or so since we even chatted on Discord, bro. So... Okay, so since Trip does know, my favorite Pokemon is Scyther, okay? Now everyone else can know. Anyone want to play Pokemon? I'm assuming you mean the Pokemon tabletop game? I don't know. How about you, Dalton? You interested?
Sure. It's been a while since I played any tabletop anything, but sure.
Well, there you go, Trip. That might be somebody who might be interested. I'm not entirely sure, but we'll see what happens. And I thought you only needed one more person, not two. Did you lose one of the other players? I don't know if his yes is a response to him losing a player or or if it's a yes to, yay, I have another person, potentially. I don't know. So, I don't know. Necromanting crocodile? What? Tripmon, we have enough comedy. This whole stream is a joke. Okay. My brother has a major issue about grades. So he will not be able to be there. So he might come in late. Oh, okay. All right. That's fine. I was just curious, man. Because I don't know if Dalton is on Discord. Are you on Discord?
Yes, I am on Discord, and I have my own Discord if anyone is curious.
Okay. Wait, we talking digital or real life? As far as I know, the game won't be digital. It'd be kind of tricky for everybody to be in the same room at the same time, considering the different states we all live in.
Yeah.
And also potentially different countries we live in. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're even going to be able to manage to get a hold of Turtle Time. Because as far as I know, he may just be trolling you, Trip. Dalton, do you have Tabletop Simulator?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't really know what Tabletop Simulator is.
It's what he plans on playing the game on. It's on Steam.
Oh.
I don't even know if you have a computer.
Yeah, no, I don't have a computer. I do most everything from my smartphone.
Oh. Well, darn it.
Speaking of which, I got a mic that is compatible with my phone for Christmas this year, so that's interesting.
Oh,
Hopefully, my audio will be
bravo.
getting better in the near future as soon as I figure out how the fuck to use the adapter to hook that up to my phone.
Uh, yeah, Trip, we may have to reconvene at a different time then. We may have to recruit you some people in a different somewhere else, not here. I would ask some of my other friends, but I'm not sure if they'd be interested or not. Or if they would be family friendly enough for your channel. Because, he's not an overtly controversial person. and he likes to keep things, relatively PG. He doesn't want, cursing in videos and whatnot. So I don't know. You don't have to be sorry, Trip. People have different circumstances. It
Yeah,
happens.
no, it's no problem, Trip. If you want to join my Discord, just find me on Twitter and I'll shoot you the link.
Yeah. Or you could probably go to his YouTube page. Do you have your Twitter linked to your YouTube page? Or vice versa?
I have my YouTube linked on my Twitter, but I don't think I have my Twitter linked in my YouTube description.
Might be something to look into.
Oh, okay, yeah, I probably should do that.
Because that's on my channel too. Not only is it in my descriptions every time I do a video or stream, it's also on the top bar.
Well, the thing of it is YouTube hates links in descriptions, so
yeah, that's true.
I didn't want to nerf my view count any more than it was already naturally going to be nerfed by the fact that I only have 60 subscribers. Side note, I did recently pass 60 subscribers. Yay.
Yay.
Still need 100 to do live streams apparently, but we'll get there.
It'll happen eventually. You just got to keep trying. You got to find that audience, is what people always tell me. I'm like, well, I don't know where mine went, but they're somewhere. I don't know where they went, but they went somewhere. Now 61. What?
I'm assuming he found my channel and subscribed to it.
Probably.
Is what he's saying?
Yeah, I think so. I have 12. Stop gloating.
It's gonna be really bad when I tell you that most 12 people subscribed to me before I even uploaded any content because I was on streams and shit. I'm sorry.
We're going to lower our subscriber count over turtle time. Guys, if any of you out there have more than 12 subscribers, leave a comment on this video and rub it in turtle time.
Oh no, we shouldn't do that. He might retreat into his shell.
Aw, too bad. And now,
okay, it's a cold day in hell when Night Wolf is slightly more vindictive than I am, but we got there.
I'm not that vindictive. I'm just joking.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's a cold day in hell when you're more vindictive than I am.
Probably. If we want to get into the semantics of who has more subscribers between everybody who's here, Trip beats all of us. So because he has over 9,000. So
seriously,
yeah, he does. I think he's been running his channel significantly longer, and he has.
What kind of content do you make, Trip?
He does Let's Plays.
Oh, okay. That would explain some things.
Yep, he does a lot of Let's Plays. I can't remember what some of his most popular uploads are. I think one of them was that Fossil Fighters game. I think because there was a lot of people who were apparently demanding that he get back to playing those games again. Yeah, he does a lot of Let's Plays. That's how I met him. Was back when I did Let's Plays and whatnot. Same for Rabbit. I mean, both of them do Let's Play stuff more than anything else. Because that's what they have fun doing. Okay. Can't fault him for that. But with that said, I think we'll probably end it here. I appreciate everybody who joined us for our Castlevania stream. I had a lot of fun. You're not invited to Turtle Tabletop Game. Darn. I was so hoping I'd get an invite. Man.
Is that when you play tabletop games on a table that has a giant tortoise shell as the top of it?
Probably.
That was the first mental image that came up when you said that.
Let me flex my subscriber muscles.
No.
You're not allowed to. Stop
Denied.
shaming us, Trip. Stop
Denied.
it. We're very sensitive about our subscriber counts here, okay?
Some of us can't even goddamn live stream yet, and it's pissing me right the fuck off because it would be much easier a lot of the time to do a live stream than it would to make a video. But fuck.
Yep. Everybody, go subscribe to Dalton for all of his deep insight on
philosophy and magic and how those things relate to geek shit and pop culture in general.
Yes.
Mostly.
I will live stream before you do to gloat. Hey, that's not nice. It's not nice. It's funny, but it's not nice. Well, I mean, I know Samurai Raccoon is... I know that you could probably still potentially live stream on the channel if you had the means to do it on your own without, basically admin permission from YouTube.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, apparently you can't even get a channel ID on your phone. Otherwise, I would have uploaded my stuff to BitChute by now. Because what you can do with BitChute is you can connect it to your YouTube channel. So every time you post something on your YouTube channel, it'll automatically upload to BitChute, and all your like descriptions and shit will automatically upload to BitChute as well once you put your channel ID in. But I can't get a channel ID apparently on my phone, which is annoying as fuck.
I did not know that. Should I make a BitChute channel too? For the inevitable purge of YouTube?
You should. Largely because BitChute is a growing platform, so you could potentially become one of the proverbial big shots on that channel if you get in early. And you might get exposed to a different audience, which is also good.
That's true.
Hooray for exposure.
Something I would consider. I don't like the concept of having to upload videos to two different platforms, but...
Well, that's the thing with BitChute. You just have to upload it to your YouTube and make sure your BitChute and your YouTube were synced up, and then it would automatically upload for you onto BitChute.
Yeah, the way you describe it, that's actually a pretty damn good feature. If only you could do the same with like between Twitch and YouTube, that would be interesting.
Yeah, that's what made me want to get a BitChute, but then I find out that you can't apparently access your channel ID through your phone, and it's like, bitch, that's the only way I access my channel. What do you expect me to do?
We'll totally do it if I get a link or something. Can you share a link for me or something? No. Find your own links. I need to stop begging. Begging for what? For subscribers? Wait, TwitchTube. The next big thing is the merger between Twitch and YouTube.
Oh God, help us. No.
That's not going to happen. Mainly because if I remember correctly, Amazon owns Twitch. I think. Yeah. I'm fairly positive on that. I'm fairly convinced in my recollection skills that Amazon is linked with Twitch.
Turtle time, are you talking about BitChute? How you spell BitChute? It's BITCHUTE, I believe.
Oh. There you go. Hopefully that helps. Anyway, that said, however, I think we'll just end it here. Right now we're just rambling for the sake of rambling.
Yes, which is fun, but not particularly entertaining.
I'm doing it for that sweet what is it called? Watch time. I'm gonna milk this as long as I can. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna do that because we already lost one person and it's getting kind of late, so gotta go and do other stuff, I'm sure.
Yep.
But thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Goodbye.